Having a good time? Perfect. All right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Edge. I'm the co-founder, one of the co-founders and the current CEO of STARBACKR. We try to empower digital content creators, but I'm going to go into that a little later. Quick introduction. As I said, co-founder and CEO of STARBACKR. I've been a content creator myself for most of my life. I did photography and videography, also had a YouTube channel, so I know where they're coming from. But my professional background is advertising. So you could say I know both sides of the game when it comes to content monetization. So the reason I'm here today, and the reason we founded STARBACKR as well, is because digital creators are in a very tough spot currently. And this is first of all because there's a big difference between physical content creators and digital content creators. Because with physical content, let's say you're an artist and you paint, right? You always can fall back to monetize your passion and your art using cash, right? So the most basic example would be if you're an artist and you have a painting that you want to sell. I mean, you could go to a gallery and try to sell it there, but the most basic thing would be to go out on the street like a street artist and sell it there for cash, right? You cannot do that with digital content, especially in the legacy world, or most importantly in the legacy world and the fiat world. You have to rely on payment processes to monetize your passion, right? To monetize your content, and that puts you in a bad spot, right? Because you are very dependent on the payment processes. There's no alternatives. Especially when you look at credit card payments, you will always need someone to process that payment for you, to handle all the things that need to be done in order to take money from a credit card. And even though there's many different processes, they all rely on the same network, right? So looking at Stripe, for example, even if you go to another processor, you would still rely on the Visa and MasterCard network, for example. So there's no real alternatives. The only alternative would be to not monetize, which is, again, not a real alternative. And then if you decide to monetize monetize your passion using the credit card processing, then you will have to take into account that there will be very high processing fees. You will pay, with many sites, you will pay up to 50% of your revenue just for the processing. And also, you will have rules and restrictions imposed on you. So here are some examples of the current situation. So if I stumble upon your course, so if you have a course on Udemy and I stumble upon that and buy that course, Udemy will actually take 2/3 of your revenue. And all they do is provide the platform for their content to be hosted, right? But all of the value that's in that course is provided by you, but they still take 2/3 of your revenue. If you look at Twitch, they will take half of your revenue for donations and subscriptions. And if you look at YouTube, for example, they will also take half of your revenue. Depending on the product, they might even take more. And they will also ask you to have 1,000 subscribers on your channel and already have 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months. So a lot of YouTube channels actually don't even monetize at all. So they take 100% of your revenue because obviously even on channels that are not monetized, there's still ads running, right? All of these legacy platforms do full KYC. Some even ask your social security number, for example. They have slow handling. They will ask you to wait for payments, and they have payout thresholds and other restrictions imposed on you. And the last one, I think I can let this speak for itself. Obviously, there's other kinds of restrictions and censorship happening in the legacy world as well. So now, most of the people here will probably think that Bitcoin fixes this, right? And it does, right? Bitcoin is do-it-yourself payment processing, literally. So you don't need to rely on the payment processor any longer. You can do all of that yourself, which is something you cannot do with a credit card, right? You cannot do the credit card processing by yourself, but you can definitely do Bitcoin processing by yourself. I've done it myself for a website. I hosted a WordPress I built a shop using WooCommerce on that WordPress website. I connected a BTC Pay server using the WooCommerce plugin. Then I spun up a Lightning node, added some liquidity to it, linked it to the BTC Pay server using the REST API, and then everything was working, right? So now this is the perfect way of actually monetizing content in a non-custodial way on your own website without relying on any processor. Now, is that something that works for everyone? And to answer that question, just think about if you know any person that maybe has an Instagram or a YouTube channel or posts content on any social media who wouldn't be able to do that. And I'm pretty sure everyone in this room definitely knows at least one person that would fall into this category. So now the problem that we have now is something that I like to call the accessibility gap, right? So Bitcoin would fix this, but the tools that are needed to actually fix the problem are not accessible to anyone, or the knowledge. This is exactly where STARBACKR comes in. What STARBACKR wants to do is it wants to make Bitcoin and the benefit Bitcoin has for content creators accessible to any content creator who needs Bitcoin in order to fix the problems I've talked about before. So what is STARBACKR? STARBACKR is a platform for digital content monetization. And what does that mean? It's basically your favorite social network, but with payments. It's like Instagram, but with payments. And it's not only payments, it's Bitcoin-only payments handled by the Lightning Network. So you can go on there, post your content, post videos, post images, have a live stream, like the 2 stages next door are currently live streamed on STARBACKR as well. And you can easily tip using a Lightning wallet, and the creator will receive the money instantly in their Lightning wallet. So now to illustrate this point further, I want to introduce Alice. And Alice is a content creator. And she recently fell down the rabbit hole, so she is a Bitcoiner. She understands why Bitcoin might be important to people, or is important to her. And what she does is she's an instructor on Udemy for drawing and illustration. So she will have courses on Udemy explaining you how to draw. And as I said, when someone stumbles upon her course and buys it, she will only get 1/3 of the revenue. And she also does live streaming sessions on YouTube where she draws live in front of her audience, but she doesn't monetize that at all because she's not eligible for the YouTube partnership program yet. So her audience is too small, maybe. Now, Alice discovered STARBACKR, and this is Alice's journey on STARBACKR. Right? She sets up her profile where she can upload images, she can upload her tutorials on STARBACKR, and she can receive tips and donations instantly, right from the minute she creates her profile. She can post, or she decides to post the basic tutorials for free, and then she can lock the more advanced tutorials behind a subscription gate. So now you have to subscribe to her and pay her a monthly fee in order to see the more advanced content. Also, she goes live on STARBACKR once a week and still has her live drawing sessions, but now the audience can tip her as well and chat in there as well and just have the whole community thing going. And the best thing about that is not only is it instantly, there's no payout thresholds, there's no strings attached, so to say, and she will also keep 90% of the revenue she makes on STARBACKR. Now the second person I want to introduce is Bob. Bob is a Bitcoin OG. He has been part of the space for quite some time now. He values his privacy very much. That's why we don't see his surname. And he recently stumbled upon an amazing artwork on Scarcity that was auctionated there. And he decided to get into drawing and wants to learn drawing. He also believes in the value for value model and loves to give back something when he receives values from someone. So Bob's journey on STARBACKR would look something like this. Now, Bob stumbles upon Alice's profile that we just saw a minute ago, and now he signs up to STARBACKR without providing any personal information, because STARBACKR does not only support login via email and password, it also supports other privacy conserving login functionalities like /text, for example. And now he can subscribe to Alice's profile, and he can not only pay the subscription fee from his STARBACKR wallet, he decides to use his own non-custodial Lightning wallet that he has running on his Lightning node to pay for the subscription fee using a Bolt 11 invoice. And because the whole login with /x thing might be a little abstract, I have actually recorded a video on how this would look like. So this is a login on STARBACKR using /x without providing any personal information. And that's it. As simple as that. We have a social network that is Lightning enabled, where people can go ahead and monetize their passion and their content and actually earn real value from that without losing most of it to payment processes. Do you have any questions? Because I think we got a couple of minutes left.
Thank you. Hey, so you are the platform, right? But do you see any use cases for collaboration where you want to integrate somewhere else? Usually it's not a winner-takes-all situation, so probably at some point you have to.
When you say integrating someone, you mean other social platforms? Or because, okay. Yeah, content sharing is something we think a lot about, right? It would be awesome to do that, and I think it would enable a lot of use cases to have more shared content between social networks. Now, when you look at the legacy word, it's often very restrictive, right? Because YouTube doesn't want you to share their content somewhere, and if you do, you need to embed the player. You're not allowed to monetize on top of that. So it is definitely a thing that we would need to figure out. For example, for the live stream that I've just mentioned. So as I said, we live stream this conference on STARBACKR right now. We actually stream to YouTube and STARBACKR at the same time, so it is more accessible to more people. But yeah, integrating something. I'm pretty sure once the ecosystem in the Bitcoin world evolves a little bit more, then things like this will be possible, or will be better possible. For example, I could definitely see an integration with Stacker News, and I'm pretty sure they would be down for that, compared to maybe some monolith legacy social networks. No more questions? All right. Thank you so much.